I posted a picture of Genesis outlined in like crumbled up weed, where it say God gave every herb and all that stuff. And a friend of mine, good ass friend of mine, responded on it like, you can't do that with God name in it, fam. And I know, you know, he mean well, he just know what he know. He know what he was taught. You know what I mean? As far as like the evils of drugs and all that shit there. But you know, my whole view on I kinda used to think like that too. I used to come with the word be sober minded, all that stuff. Why you gotta depend on something to make you feel a certain kind of way and things like that. And that was me. That was me back in the day. Shit, I was the most pious ass, judgmental ass, pharisaical, whatever you want to call it. That was me. But as I learned and understood more, just things like that, it opened up my understanding and allowed me to do other shit. You know what I mean? So, like, even with that, it's like, you ever notice how grown folk in church, like especially older church folk, I mean, they operating according to their understanding, but dig this shit here. They'll look at you wild for smoking or consuming something that came from the earth, was not altered in any way besides allowing it to dry and cure and allowing nature to take its course to ripen it. You know what I'm saying? They'll look at you sideways from taking something directly from God, but they don't bat an eye taking something from a doctor that was coming from a laboratory. Like, I believe every plant was put on this earth with purpose. I don't believe there's nothing on this earth that wasn't put here without purpose. From the plants to the rocks. The coca leaf, the indigenous folk, they chew on that shit. They got an ache or something, or they need a burst of energy. Is actually safer than caffeine and coffee shit in its natural form. It's not until man perverts that shit into something chemically altered that happens in the lab. Like, why do we not fear the shit that comes from a lab, but fear the shit that come from God, that come from earth? Whether it's, I ain't telling nobody to go out and do anything. I ain't saying I do all the shit, but people look at you crazy if you say you tried a mushroom, but they have no problem rolling off of shit that got all kind of shit in it that can't even be pronounced or spelled out. Like, and not even just the niggas that like to roll off that street shit. I'm talking about even motherfuckers that's taking high blood pressure pills because they not eating right, and then that get them the shits, so they gotta take something to not shit on themselves. That make them constipated, so now they gotta take something to soften their stools, and that give them headaches, so now they gotta take something for their head. Like, that's what happens when you break shit down and take it out of its natural form and just take a piece of it. That's what man do. They take a piece of it, make that piece larger and more potent, and just take that, not realizing that all those other pieces was put with it to help you assimilate that shit, to help you be able to process that shit, utilize that shit for your body's benefit. You know what I'm saying? So just something to think about. Like, we go hard on drugs and well, not drugs, I'm talking about plants and shit. We go hard on plants and not look at the actual drugs that come from motherfuckers that are in the lab. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you need medicine, get that medicine. I ain't saying kill over and die, but just understand, like, you're taking that shit that was created in a lab over Bunsen burners and like people don't understand the same word that we get pharmacy from in the Bible is translated as sorcery, because that's what magic and sorcery really is. It's just a higher understanding of nature. Cause that same motherfucker who can heal you of some shit using plants and herbs and tinctures, you piss them off, they can fuck you up with plants and herbs and tinctures just because they understand what is what. They understand what benefits the body at this time. They understand what hurts the body if used this way. I mean, that's why motherfuckers were scared of voodoo. That shit just is nature, it's herbs, it's yeah, that's too much. But I mean, the real sorcery is taking place in pharmaceutical labs, stealing motherfuckers' minds, putting them in a stupefied condition where you don't even know if their soul still exists. It is not coming from any shit that comes directly from the ground, from God. Not at all. Try, well, I ain't gonna say try, I ain't gonna advocate no shit like that. All I'm gonna say is this. Think about it. Natural is simple. Natural is nature. You are natural. Your body can handle natural a whole lot better than it can handle synthetic, because it never dealt with synthetic. It's never dealt with it. So it don't know what to do with it except tuck it away in your fat and in your arteries and in your organs, and then when some shit pop up, now they telling you got some shit and giving you yet another pill for the shit that fake shit done gave you.